This is going to be project number 1 in my upcycling / mending 30 projects before I can go thrifting again, because between things the kids have outgrown and stuff that I have acquired over the last 2 months, I need to work through some things that I've accumulated. So this is Hunter's jacket. This is a very nice jacket. It is wonderful. The only thing that sucks about it is this jacket does not have a hood, and we live in Washington where it rains all the freaking time. So I am going to use an old hoodie of Hunter's. I say old. We got it last year and it fits him, but just barely. So I'm going to take the hood off of this and I'm going to attach it to the jacket so that then he can put it on or take it off as he needs, and he will be warm and dry and not soaked to the bone, because carrying an umbrella is kind of gauche and not the thing that people in Washington do, even though it rains all the time. So I'm probably not going to film much of the process because it's really just going to be a matter of cutting this off at a certain point, and I'm going to attach it with, sorry Una, some cam snaps. I don't anticipate him being really hyper mega rough with it, so I think these plastic snaps will be just fine. So I will check back in with you once I have this done, and I will let you know approximately how long it took me. The lighting is absolute garbage in here, but that's fine, because guess what? 1 hour later, here we are, it's done, and yes, it is sad that this jacket that belongs to my 12-year-old will fit me when he outgrows it. So, this, I'm glad I didn't film the process, because there may have been some excessive swearing that occurred when I broke the second snap. I ended up serging the edge of the bottom. Hang on, let me flip this. I have to pause it for. Alright, so here's how the inside looks. As you can see with the fur, it's almost impossible to see the plastic anyway, but it comes apart, and I picked snaps that are a similar color, and it almost makes it look like it's stud details. I probably should have used silver because the rest of the hardware is silver, but you know what, it's fine. And whenever the collar is folded down, you can't see it anyhow. So I serged the bottom of the fluff so that the fluff will not continue to fluff and come off, because that's annoying as hell. And this thing, oh, this thing. This is the actual cam snap pliers that came with the set, and this little teeny tiny itty bitty throat on the thing is not big enough. That's what she said. Regardless, getting the fabric in between here required a lot of squishing and rolling and angry words, and finally managed to figure it out with the jacket. So if I was going to make a habit of attaching hoods to things that do not naturally have them, I would seek out the pliers that have more depth here, because that is important and would have made it go much quicker. So I would say that all in all, this was a success. Kind of a pain in the ass, but it worked, and that's what matters, is that it worked. He's wearing a different jacket today that barely fits him, and, you know, when you're a kid, having stuff be comfortable is important. And I have my hair up in a clip right now, so this hood is definitely going to come forward far enough to completely keep him out of the rain. So yeah, took an hour of listening to Stray Kids to chill the frig out and realize that this minor inconvenience I had for this one project does not mean that I need to buy another specialized tool, that being a different set of pliers. I just had to figure it out and elbow grease it, and like I said, use some very persuasive, not nice language. And it worked. So I I am pleased with the way it turned out. And then if he wants to take the hood off, the part of the snap that is inside isn't going to like rub against his skin in a weird way, so it's all good. So that is one project out of 30 done. 29 more to go, and I've got like 3 or 4 that are going to be other short fixes, so I'll probably combine those short ones together into one video just to get some easy wins, because God knows with the way the world is now, we could all use some easy wins, yeah? So, till then, catch you in the next one. This is a halfway finished project. It's this cute little tunic that I thrifted that I really liked, but the problem is she had long sleeves. And I cannot wear long sleeves at work, as I have discussed before. I mean, I could, but if they have long sleeves, I have to be able to roll it up way past my elbow, and these sleeves are not good for that. So I cut it off here and just serged the edges, which my lighting in here is horrible, but it's nighttime and that's how it goes. That's a little bit better. I just serged the edges so they wouldn't fray. It's been washed once since I serged it, so that's all good. But what I want to do, I'm not sure, I'm pretty sure actually that this cuff is going to be way too narrow. But I want to at least do a binding around the edge with this to kind of make it look a little more cohesive and not like a crappy chop job. I was thinking maybe I could use the cuffs, but I don't think the cuffs will fit around my upper arms. We will see. And then I'm going to be hand stitching whatever I do on because I just don't feel like getting the sewing machine out. And I want to sit here like a bum and watch YouTube because today is actually Christmas Day and the kids are with their dad and I have to go back to work tomorrow. So I'm just going to continue to sit here like a bum, and I will do something with these sleeves. So we're finally getting back to the thrifted sweater tunic thingy that I chopped the arms off of and just serged the edge to make sure it wouldn't fray. And before, you will notice that this stitching is very obvious now. That's because it's actually supposed to be worn the other way, with the garter stitch side out. But you know what? I like the look of the stockinette more, so I'm going to put the sleeves on it in such a way that the stockinette is facing out, and now the whole thing looks like stockinette, and the seam line is just visible stitching. So I'll have to go through and remove this little thingy here that apparently was a tag before, and there's one on this side too that used to be a care tag that somebody cut out. And then we'll just take that off the back and nobody will know that it's inside out. And as you can see, I cut a piece off of the sleeves to make a banded cap to the sleeve, I suppose, and I checked to make sure that it's actually going to fit over my massive arms and it should still have some stretch, a little bit of stretch. So I am going to hope for the best and just use my serger instead of bothering to sew it. That way the ends will be all encapsulated and I won't have to worry about it fraying even in the wash. And I will check back in with you when that is done. Well, here we are, 2.5 hours later now for what should have been a 10-minute project, and I now have a serger that will not chain no matter how many times I've rethreaded the damn thing. So that's fun. Yeah. I can't afford to take it to a shop if the timing is what needs to be adjusted, and I have literally rethreaded it 9 times, and I'm not going to do it again because it's just not fucking working. So, yay! We're going to try and just zigzag over this and hope it holds it enough with a denim needle because, you know, that's thick layers of fabric. Worst case scenario, I suppose I can fucking hand sew the last few inches of it if I really need to, but I would prefer to not. So, yeah. Super fun for what was supposed to be a really quick 10-minute project. Here we go. So, still don't have the serger fixed. that should be fun to figure out. However, I did get this finished because primary concern was I wanted to wear this to work today and I wanted it to be done. So, did a zigzag on the inside edge with the part that wasn't connected, flipped it right side out, just top stitched it so it'll lay flat. And here's how it looks. So figuring out the serger issue should be tons of fun, because that's always a blast and a half. Because every video that I've watched all does the exact same things that I'm doing, so clearly something somewhere is not right. And I really hope that it doesn't require a professional, because if it does, then I have a $400 paperweight, because yeah, it's not going to get fixed by a pro anytime soon. But in good news, this is cute, and it has short sleeves, so I can wear it at work. And like I mentioned in the other video, I flipped it inside out, so now we've got the nice stockinette on the outside and the garter stitches on the inside. Which honestly, I could still flip it the other way if I wanted to, because I did remove the tag and it had the little hangers on the inside for putting it on a hanger in the closet, like the little plastic things, because this is kind of slippy. But whatever. It worked. I'm not sure if this was project 3 or 4, but there's another one done, and I'm gonna inhale some food before I go to work. So, catch you in the next one. I'm not sure what number of projects this is, and honestly at this point I am abandoning the whole let's not thrift for 30 projects thing, because my goal is actually to not purchase anything else until like end of the summer, beginning of fall, so we'll say August, September. I'm not sure if at this point you will have seen the videos where I procured all of the rest of the thrifted things. So, this is a shirt that I did get for me, forgetting that this is what happens to my arms after going to the gym for 2 days. I'll be going again tomorrow and hitting arms again a little bit. So, this shirt actually, if I can get it on without moving, if this shirt was not stretchy, I could not get it on. It fits me here just fine. Like, there's space here. I wish it was a little bit longer, but it's problematic with the too tight sleeves and the really short sleeves too. This is allegedly a women's medium. Teeny tiny women maybe. I'm 5'8" and I am not a small girl. So I'm going to cut the sleeves off of this just on the outside edge of these seams, because I like this plaid and I intend to use it to help repair this lined flannel, which is also red, and some other colors that I got. This was, I can't remember if this was from Rag House or Thrift Vintage Fashion. It'll be in whichever of those haul videos, regardless. So, these were like maybe $2, and it is, you know, heavy duty, quilted, lined, flannel, outerwear, but they're not all perfect. They have some mistakes. So this just needs to have this stuffed back in and restitched over the top of it to hold it in place. Cool, fine. The edge of the cuff is a little raggedy, and I kind of want to go over that with like some bias binding just to tighten it up. There's a little rip right here. There's a big rip right here. So I want to use this fabric. I can't fully move my arms. This is so friggin' ridiculous, you guys. Oh my god. I want to use the fabric from the sleeve to patch up that hole. And I think there was this the one that had a hole in the back too. Maybe not. But I know there's a couple of other little spots that need repairing on here. Essentially, I want to take this and like snazz it up and do some other embellishing on it to make it not super girly, but slightly more feminine for a person. Yeah, this says that it is a medium 38 to 40. So this, oh my god, if I can get this off and like not die. Yes, let's all watch me struggle. It's fine. Yeah. So I'm gonna cut the sleeves off this thing because damn. And just wear it like as a vest over top of what I'm wearing now. But yeah, this is a men's medium, which is 38-40, and this will fit me completely if I were to zip it up. There's space here. And the zipper on this one is actually good, so. And I could still wear something light under this or wear like a heavier quilted vest on top of it if I needed to for wintry stuff. But yeah, so kind of a two-part project. It is 12:20 right now. I believe we're working about an hour, so honestly I'm probably not going to get much farther than chopping the sleeves off and conceptualizing what I'm going to do with the sleeves. Maybe cut a few spots that are going to be applique patches and pin them on here. Because I've been wrestling with my serger all morning, and if you've seen the last fix that I did, which was the sweater tunic thing, apparently working with heavier materials on a Brother 1034D wanks the timing in such a way that it will never be the same again no matter what you do. And from reading some more things about people taking them in to get them repaired and then watching them literally re-break as the techs tested them in front of them, so it was another 2 to 3 weeks for it to be fixed, I'm going to take mine and all of the pieces and parts and I'm going to go donate it to our library and tell them this is currently non-functional. If anybody wants to take this and try to fix it, you're free to have it. Otherwise, you can use it for parts to repair your other ones. Whatever. Because I can't be bothered to screw around with it anymore. I have literally wasted 4 days of my life trying to fix that stupid thing, and it is not fixing. And I'm done. So the hell with it. I guess we're just gonna go back to regular zigzags and shit for sealing and edges. We're just gonna call it good. Maybe someday I'll have enough for a legit big girl expensive serger, but now is not that time. And I'm done with it. So, on that note, I'm gonna go chop the sleeves off this thing so I can put this on and not freeze to death, because it is still winter even if it's not super cold in Washington. Yeah. And then see what we can do with the sleeves for this thing. So I will see you for the rest of this when I see you. Alright, so about 20 minutes later, and here we are. Now it fits, and I can move, and I just went through, and I actually cut on the other side of the seam, because there was a lot of bulk on the seam and the sleeves, so now the sleeves are off, but I just went through and did a little zigzag close to the edge, so if it does fray a little bit, that's fine, that'll make it look nifty. But it's not going to fall apart because I did zigzag all the way around the edges of the armholes. Although I do kind of feel like I'm channeling Judd Nelson in The Breakfast Club a little bit with this one, but that's okay. So, sleeves are off. This is fixed, so it's going to function. Now I'm ready to rock and roll for work. It only took me about 20 minutes with the regular sewing machine. Don't know why I got it in my head that a serger was going to make my life easier when all it did was 4 days of my life. So yeah, I'm going to figure out what I can do with this for this. And I will pop back in to check in at some point with some updates on that. This is another project that isn't going to take very long, that I'm going to be doing pretty shortly here. So, this is a hoodie a friend got me for Christmas, and I love it. Problem is, it has kind of short sleeves for how long my arms are, and we're going to ignore the cat hair on everything because my cats live here too. So, because my arms are way longer than they should be for someone my height, I'm going to take this sleeve, and from about here to here, I'm going to cut a chunk out of the sleeve of this other hoodie that I have that also does not fit me, which is just too short everywhere because I am not 20 years old anymore. I'm going to cut a chunk out of this sleeve and add it to this. So it'll make the sleeve long enough, and then I will have all the leftover bits of this hoodie, which I will be saving this to use on something else because this actually glows in the dark, which is super duper cool. But the other thing that is sad about this hoodie that is new, that I really enjoy otherwise, is it does not have a pocket. So I am going to take another hoodie that I have and trace the shape of the pocket and cut it out of the back of the werewolf hoodie to use to sew on as the front pocket. So it's going to be a lot of modifications, but they're not going to be super complicated, and I'm going to be doing that while I am watching the rest of The Midnight Club, which has already made me cry like 3 times in the last couple episodes, and it was directed, produced, whatever, by Mike Flanagan, the guy who did Midnight Mass, which was abysmal and super duper fucking sad at the end, so probably going to be expecting about the same from this and should not be getting my hopes up otherwise because I know better. This is a simple process, she says, pulling out 4 different friggin' hoodies to make this work. But I am going to document this portion just primarily for myself so that if I have to do this in the future, I have something to reference back to. And if you are also modifying things to make them into hoodies with kangaroo pockets, this might be helpful. So, first off, this is the hoodie that I just showed you a minute ago that we're going to be making fit better. My awesome Bang Chan hoodie with no pocket. However, look at the color of this portion of the sleeve. I was thinking, oh, I need something dark to go with the front, but you know what else I have that's even better? I have this, which is a sweatshirt from one of my entirely too many things present bulk thrift haul thingies that you will see eventually at some point. And I figured out from looking at this, because I was thinking, oh, I'll have to like cut a chunk off the bottom here or whatever. So hey, you want to know something cool to conserve even more of the fabric? If you look at the width of the sleeve, which is a folded piece of fabric, if you take the folded fabric and you unfold it, then it will be wide enough to cut a pocket from. Yes, I mean, even as it is folded, it's almost as wide as the pocket that I'm going to be using as my template. So, I'm going to make a paper rubbing template of this, primarily just tracing around the edge, and then I'm going to add, looks like about 1/2 inch for seam allowance to fold it over and make sure the edges are good and reinforced, which is so much better than cutting things up. I don't understand why so many upcycling tutorials say destroy a sacrificial article of clothing to make what you want. Yeah, you can do that, or you can just get out a piece of paper and like trace the edges, or get a tracing wheel. That's what they're for. Don't cut up your good stuff if you like the way it fits, because you might not be able to make it go back to the way it was. Yeah. And I'm definitely not sacrificing my Chaos Coordinator hoodie. Because this thing is my life. And I'm actually going to be modifying that in a totally different way at some point coming up. So now, to cut the sleeve, to make the pocket. So, tracing wheel. This is your friend. You put it on the thing, you go by feel, and then you have a rough shape of what it's going to be. So since this is not perfect, but I did use 2 pieces, I'm going to fold it in half and use whichever side seemed to be cleaner. Trace that and cut it out. And then you can put it on something sturdier or a less beat up piece of paper, and you have a template to sew from without sacrificing clothing that you enjoy. So do that. Get a tracing wheel. It is your friend. We're just going to ignore all of the signs of life and the fact that somebody lives in this place. Okay? Okay. So, this is it, all done. The sleeves are now just the right length with just a little bit of finger space. I am moderately aggravated that I sewed this part on this left arm upside down, so the thicker part is up here instead of at the bottom. Maybe I'll fix it. Maybe I'll go in and just add like a little triangle on that part to make it so it's a little bit wider. It doesn't really affect the functionality. But there's that. And there's also a fully functional kangaroo pocket that is super reinforced with zigzags and all that. Empty phone case for demonstration purposes. Fits in there, will fit in there with the keys. And now it is much more usable because now I can put things in the pocket because I hate not having pockets. So, all told, turned out pretty good. Like I said, I might have to go back and fix that because even though nobody else is going to notice it but me, especially when it's scrunched up a little bit, I notice it. And I am very type A. So I don't know if I can just let it go. For now I am, because I'm just done. And I'm on the last episode of Midnight Club. And have cried more times than I care to admit. So, we'll see how the rest of this episode goes. We'll see how much of a horrible person as a writer Mike Flanagan continues to be. And by horrible person, I mean he hurts me every time I watch something that he has written. But I keep going back because they are very well written. So, you know, it is what it is, I suppose. So on that note, I think that this will be the end of this round of flipping things and upcycling and making things more usable. So now I don't quite have sweater paws because I have really long arms, but now I have just the right length because only my fingertips are exposed rather than where it was before, which was about here, anytime I stretched my arm, which was massively uncomfortable. So, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all the good things, and I will catch up with you Darklings at some point in the hopefully not too distant future. Take care of yourselves and each other, and remember, we are all just works in progress.